Formula One isn't just about speed, it's about sound. And the F1 film captures it perfectly. What you're hearing isn't synthetic or manufactured. It's the real thing. From recording actual track and car audio to a score that races alongside the action, this film delivers some of the most immersive sound design in a movie ever. So let's explore what makes the sound of F1 so special and how the crew pulled it all off. Let's dive in. From day one, the F1 crew set out to make the most realistic and immersive racing movie of all time, and sound was going to be a crucial part in achieving that. Every car, track, and race location has its own unique voice. That's why instead of building the sound design from scratch, they recorded it for real. Production sound mixer Gareth Johns started by first practicing on Formula 2 cars that Brad Pitt and Damson Idris actually drove for the film. These early recordings would later be replaced by Formula 1 cars, but this allowed John and the production sound team to figure out the best places to set up microphones, which included air ducts and near exhausts. It's worth noting that Formula 1 is extremely protective of their sport and cars. Not only do they take a lot of time and effort to build, but they also cost on average between $12 to $20 million each. Before the F1 movie, nobody had been given access to record the actual vehicles, tracks, and atmosphere of a race. Since the production was filmed during real races, the team also had to use equipment that wouldn't impact a car's performance. So they used small DPA microphones similar to what F1 actually uses to capture audio for broadcasts. Microphones weren't just on the cars, the team also rigged mics all around the different tracks. This allowed them to capture the sound of the crowds, cars racing by, and the chaotic environment of race day. In fact, John even mentioned in an article for Variety that on one of the race days, Red Bull racer Max Verstappen crashed into McLaren driver Oscar Piastri, so they were able to use the actual crash audio in the film. This dedication to real sound paid off. The film doesn't sound clean, it sounds raw, rugged, and dangerous because it actually is. You hear gravel pinging the undercarriage of cars, wind turbulence, and every little mechanical whine of the engines under stress. Most of the time, movies worry about sound after the fact. It's estimated that about 98% of sound is added to movies during post-production. A lot of the time, the sound added and recorded during post is way too clean and perfect. Even if the sound team tries to dirty it up, it's never as good as the real thing. By flipping that approach and capturing audio live, the filmmakers of F1 made something that feels visceral, immersive, and alive. Something you'll notice when you watch F1 is that the sound design isn't just loud, it's layered and full of detail.
Round the final corner, it's close! They make contact! Both Apex GP cars into the gravel, and Pierce hits the barrier!
Engine revs overlap with car rumbles, drivers breathing, pit radio chatter bleeding into race scenes, and crowds roaring as cars fly by. Each sound dances together to bring the action to life and make you feel like you're not just watching a race, but are a part of it. This layering of sound also becomes important in making each race location sound unique and different from one another. Silverstone doesn't sound like Las Vegas. Each track has its own type of crowd energy, road conditions, and atmosphere. On top of this, each track is laid out differently, so the layered sound becomes crucial in how the cars react on these different tracks and conditions. A certain corner on one track could be long, so the way the driver takes that corner is going to be different from a quick turn on a shorter corner on a different track. The sound design team studied these details to make sure each rev, brake, whine, and tire squeal hit at the perfect moment and blend seamlessly. The result is a soundscape that feels tailor-made for each second of action. Of all the sound elements, the mix might be the most impactful. It's what allows the sound design to become a storytelling device and at times a character of its own, or in many cases throughout the film, a way to express a character's internal psychological state. Take this scene as an example. Brad Pitt's character Sonny Hayes is so extremely focused on winning this race and finally reaches this heightened state that he's been chasing after for so long that all the sound and noise around him becomes faded and eventually non-existent. By doing this, it puts us in Sonny's headspace. All we hear is some wind and whooshes as he goes around the track towards the finish line. It captures this feeling of flying that is talked about throughout the film. There's some very faint and almost distorted crowd noise as he passes by the stands, along with what sounds like a slowed down, deep version of We Will Rock You that creates almost a heartbeat pulsing sort of effect during the sequence. It's truly a powerful scene that makes you hold your breath as he attempts to finish the race and win. Sound mixing is not just adjusting audio levels, but also blending frequencies, adding effects, and placing audio elements in the right part of the space so they feel natural and immersive. You don't want sounds that are meant to be further away to sound like they're coming from right in front of you, for example. What takes the mix of F1 to an even greater level is that it was all mixed in Dolby Atmos, a format that allows sound to move freely anywhere within a 3D space, even above you. So instead of a traditional setup like 5.1 or 7.1 surround sound, where sound is coming from fixed channels such as left, right, and center speakers, Dolby Atmos allows for sound to come from everywhere. Cars don't just pass by left and right, they scream past your head, behind your shoulders, and around the room, making you feel like a part of the race. The energy in the mix is non-stop. Plus, with the freedom to do whatever you want in the space, the music also takes advantage of it. Whether it's having instruments hit in certain spots or consuming the entire space around you, it's a very special thing to get to experience. One of the most powerful scenes in the film is when rising star Joshua Pierce attempts to overtake another driver during a race in Italy that goes from a sunny race day to one covered in rain. The way the mix is handled here is perfect. During the sunny weather, the race is loud, the music is exciting, and it feels like this might be a race that the team finally wins. The mix is very full and present, but when the rain starts, the mood shifts entirely. Thunder cracks, rain begins to dominate the soundscape, and the music recedes. We still hear the sounds of the cars and the radio chatter with the crew, but the scene begins to have an increasing sense of danger. All the sound design is more present, and the announcers, along with the rest of the dialogue, starts to get overtaken more and more as the scene progresses towards its climax. The music even begins to creep back in, getting louder and increasing the intensity of the race. Then almost in an instant, as Joshua Pierce makes a daring move to overtake the first place driver, the sound drops out, literally cutting off the announcer's dialogue mid-sentence. A haunting silence fills the space as Pierce's car takes the corner too quickly and launches into the air. When seeing this in theaters, people gasped out loud and became completely silent. We don't even hear the sound of the crash, just an eerie single tone that overtakes the scene. It's one of the most captivating and jaw-dropping moments in a movie that I've seen in a very long time. Once Pierce's teammate Sonny makes it to the crash site and jumps out of his car to try to rescue Pierce, the sound doesn't come back, but a piano becomes present in the music as we witness the fear in the crew's eyes as their teammate's car burns. It's truly an overwhelming experience, and the amount of dread, worry, and sadness that is achieved here through the sound design and mix is masterfully done. The filmmakers behind F1 set out to make the most immersive racing movie of all time, and they absolutely achieved this goal. Through the sound design, the film puts you in the driver's seat where every second is life or death. Every noise is a warning. a weapon or a window into the driver's minds. Without approaching the sound in a non-conventional way, F1 would just be another solid racing movie. By going out and capturing the real sounds of cars, tracks, and the entire atmosphere of Formula One, it really made a huge difference. Everything sounds real because it is real, and as an audience member, you can feel it. From the complex layering of sounds to the way the mix almost feels like a character of its own, guiding and telling the story, F1 has set a new standard on what sound can do and should do. If you've had a chance to check out the film, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the sound design and the film as a whole in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.